Okay. Yeah, I like cheese, fellas. If you haven't had, what is this called? I actually don't know. It's like some European sharp cheese that got from Germany. So good luck.
So we've got Birriar running it back this time with Goku Black, and we've got Jamal moving from the commentator desk out into the arena to play Blue Cooler. That's a deck I think people are a little bit higher on than some of the others we've played today. So we've got Birriar using Goku Black. If you're unfamiliar, it plays a lot from the warp and it's a unison centered deck. The leader goes top 7 and puts 1 card in the warp. So he warped this specified 2 energy Goku Black unison, but it plays from the warp for 1. And I have the deck in front of me. There's a couple different unisons that look pretty similar. I believe that fellow is he's a blocker, 15k blocker. He plus 1s, warps 2 off the top of your deck, and then restands himself. So he's a 15k dual attack. And almost all of these unisons have an ability to warp cards from the top of your deck. So your warp is kind of your hand in this deck. Max, I know you've given it a whirl once or twice. We weren't overly impressed, but it is interesting.
It is definitely an interesting deck concept. I like it a lot. It's definitely a lot of fun. I think it just needs a little bit something extra. I mean, one gentleman asked earlier what deck you think needs a little support, and it's probably Goku Black because it needs a consistency piece of some kind. Because we've both had moments where we flip over maybe like 8 or 9 cards, and there's only one unison in there somehow. I don't know how that happens. When you have like 25 to 30 unisons in the deck, it just doesn't make any sense. But here we are.
There's definitely 2 super combos in the warp at that point. There's usually more supers than unisons. Somehow I don't know how the math works out there, but that's how these RNG based decks go sometimes.
Welcome to it.
Yeah, it's a black deck kind of centered around indestructible with their 7-drop Zamasus, which against decks that cannot interact with indestructible, very strong. I feel like we're going to be moving into a format where red is very prevalent. So not the best there. And also the best deck in the format is probably still Kefla Surge, which has a lot of ways to interact with indestructible. So
I would have to agree with that statement. But this Goku Black deck, if you do flip properly and you don't lose half your deck for no reason, it puts on a lot of pressure. Just the unison volley just keeps going and going. Eventually, you get to your big boy down there, the Zamasu that Beer has charged, and it's just a house. The one that he charged gives plus 5k to whatever's attacking. It's an auto, and you can use it whenever, basically, or apply it to whoever you want, more or less. So you can put on your leader if you want, or on the unison if you want, or a different battle card. And it also gains double strike. So it's a mini crack in space time, which is pretty massive. And you can use it on defense and offense. And the 5k is for the turn, not the battle.
yeah, very nice. And great 2-drop unison. It'd be nice if board clears when it comes in. It doesn't hit barriers, so that's kind of a drawback. In modern DBS, 2 energy plays are very heavy. So it does have a strong ability though. It's you can't really deny. I don't think it should barrier board clear for 2 energy. That would be a little too
Be
strong probably. But
a little much.
so Barrier is awakened here. He's swinging with the leader. The leader is almost like a SS3 thwarting, just on swing. It just warps a card. Does not draw though. That's the problem. It warps 2 cards from the top of the deck. I say that's the problem. I think that's why people are down on the deck, basically, because we as Masters players equate cards in hand to strength of deck. So a deck that does not have a lot of cards in hand can't possibly be strong. I think this Goku Black does have the possibility to buck that trend a little bit and prove that it can hang with a 7-card hand, but
Sure.
it'll have to prove it in the wider meta, which we don't really have until April. So you'll get a
But if
chance
you
to
keep
work on some lists.
if you flip cards like Beer does, then you got nothing to worry about, apparently. because he gets one unison and a 7 drop he can recycle every time.
Yeah, it's very nice. So now this one is another 15k specifying 2 black unison. It has a +0. Oh no, I lied. This is the same guy. Okay, sorry. This is the same guy, the blocker. I thought we got to the SR. There it is. I'll just say it now. The SR is a Empower Black 3. It's got critical and it has a +0 to send 2 cards from the top of the warp and gain 5k. So it is a 20k crit swing, which is nice. And then the best one is that Goku Black 2 cost, which is an activate battle, pay 1, bring it in. It gives something 10k power. And then its +1 is to draw a card and warp a card. So ideally, you'd like to play that on defense, have it bridge a turn, and then you get to start your turn by drawing, swinging, and then going through your unisons again. You basically just want to loop through these unisons over and over.
To be fair, we say the deck doesn't draw, but it does have a Goku Black Unison that is a plus ability and lets you draw one card. So if you can end your turn with it, which I try to do as often as possible, and then bridge with it into the next turn somehow, or at least get it down early so you can plus 2 to 3 cards before they end up inevitably killing it, then it's worthwhile.
Glad we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chat is saying your warp is your hand. When you play the deck, you start to know what's comboable. Yeah, it is. It can be tricky, right? Because you don't necessarily want to just be comboing them without, because you also want to recycle them from the warp. So if you combo them, they're removed from game, then you're really losing cards. So it tends to be what it seems like to me is you want to try and line your opponent up for one big double strike swing, and then you have all these unisons in the warp to kind of to dump your hand on, basically. Um, doesn't always work like that though, and you have to use them to defend, which can be tricky. You have to be careful. You still keep a copy of each one in rotation, so that way you have them to use when you need them. We'll see Cooler
Got
get going
Maul
here.
over here though, with a pretty ideal energy setup too. He's got the 5 drop Salza in the door that has critical, that it acts as a removal card as well. But the Salza, I don't think anyone can really argue with it. Is probably the best card in the deck. Dual attack plus 5k to whatever your heart desires, and you can use that both on offense and defense.
And it draws a card, right?
It does. All the 5 drops on play draw one card, so they replace themselves technically. It's like a delayed gratification effect, basically.
Yeah, the chat is mentioning how it's difficult to. You can't really dump your hand against O2 Black just because they have so many unisons in the warp, which is true, but it's just one of those decks that it's almost it can be similar to a Rinsu in that fact. Like you have to play around the couple tricks it has. So as long as you do that and draw it out and go wide, you can use up those unisons to the point where you can finish the game against Goku Black. It does take a while though. It is pretty tanky for a black deck.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are catching on. Just swing up the unison before you start attacking the leader. So definitely buys you some time because they start running out of swings once all your because unisons usually have because the empower abilities. A lot of them will have 3, 4 markers at a time, and that eats up 3 to 4 swings. So
Yeah, in our play group, there are many control players who are very excited to swing at your unison and not give you life, even when your deck is not unison centered. So playing against a unison center, against someone whose whole strategy is to keep their unison on board, they will just punish you. They love just they'll swing just enough, kill the unison, and then they won't let you get the go-to black and pass. So
yep,
it does have some drawbacks
that's
in that regard if you know how to play around it, but it can also do some
the
crazy stuff.
the Goku Black deck in this play group is basically an all-you-can-eat buffet. They'll kill the unison, swing once at you to give you one card, and say I'll pass. And I'm like, all right, dude.
Only if you don't have an energy or a go-to black in the warp to play, because they definitely won't allow
That
that
part.
either. Yeah.
Or they'll just play their own unison and then they pass.
Yeah.
The Android 18 unison, 'cause a lot of the people in our group like to play blue. Is just it's so bad for the Goku Black deck. Just your hand's already small enough, and I know your hand is your warp, but you still need your defensive cards, and you want your super combos in hand. And once they slowly nuke you one card at a time on their turn, is kind of rough.
And it's very difficult to clear that unison through floodgates and through just you have to commit so many swings to it. Then you're not putting on any pressure. So
To overpay for it, and they don't care.
we had a game on stream. I think it was on locals this week. We had Broly versus Goku Black, and I think it was Dolby playing Broly, and he was unaware that the 5K Goku Black, the unspecified unison, which I don't think we've seen yet, but it's an activate battle to pay one and play it, and it if it has Empower Black too, if it comes in with two markers, it warps a battle card. So he did dump his hand and swing on a battle card to try and win the game against Goku Black, and if the Goku Black player had had it in the warp, he would have landed the battle trick and won the game. So um, it almost reminds me of going back 5 years to just having Brainwash No More in Dark Broly, and people would line you up and hope that you didn't have it, and then you get to pay one and not die, and it was a great feeling. Thoughts on the Frieza promo leader that came out, the generic one? Um, I have not explored it too much. I know the Z card is strong. I think that's a pretty good card. I've not seen too much of the release event leader in action, so I don't really want to comment. Max, have you played any games against or with that
I
deck?
have not played any games against
Yeah.
or with that deck, unfortunately, or fortunately, not sure yet. I all I got was the Z card because it's just good for blue in general.
Yeah, the Z card is very strong. You get to warp a six or less pretty early, or not warp, bottom deck a six or less pretty early, and is another answer to Black Mass saying if your strategy that needs to do that. And the untapping your opponent, as long as you time it correctly, you time it right at the end of the turn, you get an energy back for yourself, and then you give them an energy, but you pass. It didn't matter, right? So I think Cooler is the better leader of the two blue leaders from this set, right? Being that Frieza, I think Cooler's going to have more longevity.
I can agree with that statement. It's a lot of people label it as BoJack Light, which it kind of is. But the benefit of this deck is even though the abilities once per turn, you do have a pretty decent sized hand, and doing it on both players' turn, just draw one. You're technically plussing two because you get a battle card out of it and a card to your hand. And also, the 8 drop cooler in this deck has barrier removal, which is almost unheard of in blue. So that was a nice little surprise when I saw this deck.
Yeah, it definitely gives it advantages that other generic blue decks don't have. It'll be interesting to see. It feels to me like a more fair version of Arinsu.
You can see that.
Um, it seems like this deck should have come out before Arinsu. Honestly, like that, it would make more sense if Arinsu came out this set and you say, "Oh wow, that's just a little stronger version or cooler." But it does have a lot of tools. It does. The one flaw with the deck that I noticed when playing, and I've watched them all play it this week and noticed, is that the leader once per turn having to proc the first time I think it's when you return a card to hand, you have to use the ability. It would be nice if you could control the timing on that.
That
It
would be
would be
very good.
nice if swap didn't burn it, or if you, I know, like if you don't start the turn with the extra card that Jamal's got there, it's time to die. If you want to, bring that back to your hand, pay one, return something, you have to use the leader ability right then, which is not always the opportune time to do it. So I think that is kind of an interesting just drawback to the deck, I guess. For like a Rinsu, you get to you can return a 3 drop kind of at will, right? It doesn't have to be. It's not forced. I guess you have a little bit more flexibility on when you use that skill. So, but I think It's a blue deck. Control players are always attracted to that, and it does have a lot of tricks. The salsa beaning your leader and then getting to use sensu bean. You get that 25k leader, almost like Gamma was doing with a bean and the arrival guys. So definitely gonna be strong.
For sure. And I know a lot of people kind of wrote this deck off early just because everything was like 15k here, 15k there. But then once people started playing it, including myself, I was like, all right, you just keep recycling the Salsa and then just keep beating everything 5k. It doesn't matter. And then on top of that, this card Zeno, which I think everybody should be playing, at least 2 copies more than likely, lets you tap out in this deck and not be concerned. And you just don't care. So you can cycle through your cards, put your cards back into rest mode, and then just Zeno on your opponent's turn and just go back to doing blue things again. Which is why this deck I think is stronger than people gave it credit because they forgot that it was a blue deck. They just saw blue aggro potential cards and they forgot oh D Magic's still a card, Zeno's still a card. Beaston's obviously broken, or you can play Hatch. I put Hatch into mine to test it out and it was just as good. But it's hard to get through and push damage on this deck because you have all the good blue cards.
Yeah, I forget what deck I was playing against Jamal the other night, but he used Baby Hatch, and I don't remember what it was, but I remember I only had a few. Oh, I was playing Panzino, I think, and I had basically milled myself out. So he was able to push some damage, and then oh, there we see the SCR from BR setting that up. That'll be cool to see if that comes out. But Baby Hatch just made it so that I could not win the game without decking myself out, and still very viable. I think the allure to of Beaston is that you get to play the archetype extra card. It's time to die. Cards go to the bottom of the deck instead of the hand, and now when you beast Gohan, the board clear is real. It doesn't all go back to hand. So it could be a little finicky with making sure that you have enough. They have more cards than you for the burn, but not giving your opponent back all their cards is so strong. I think that card's going to get splashed in some other strategies. I would not be shocked to see Arinsu give it a shot.
Be surprised at all.
Superior wants to deal damage here,
Even
and he
if I
does.
think people want to play Yes Time to Die, even as just a one of, just so they compare it with the SER in any of these blue decks, would just be super powerful. Uh, You don't lose anything out of it. Worst case, you charge it, is what it is. But it's just a game ender right there because now they have zero combo power.
Let's see. So it looks like Barrier passed the turnover. He's dealt. He's getting them pretty low. I still think Evil Sane here would be preferred to Goku Black Unison, but we are showcasing the new set, so
Yes.
maybe he's pulled it out of his case, and maybe he was
Well,
excited to show it off.
I quote Beer. I pulled the card. I have to play it.
Yeah, that's the
So,
whole reason he built the deck, I'm sure.
more than likely, I'm going to be honest, probably, yeah. But Evil saying it's definitely the pick if you're trying to play this competitively. Unfortunately, this Goku Black SCR could have been so good, but it only warps when it dies, and you really don't want it to die anytime soon because it's just does everything you want. But if it was an on play warp down to 7, oh, this deck would have had it all. Because that's kind of what this deck needs, a card that just warps cards out of your hand sooner rather than later. Because a lot
Yeah,
of times in my testing, I found the unisons get stuck in my hand a lot.
yes, the
But
deck definitely needs just some reasonable. Doesn't have to be a broken card, just some way to filter. I need to be able to draw two, pitch two, or some version of that. I don't need to plus in hand. I just need to get these unisons out of my hand, and
Rigged. Time
that can be
regulator is
tricky.
close, but you need something
Yeah,
you can play also without having to overwhelm. Because getting cards in your drop is actually a little bit more difficult than we'd like to think. Unfortunately,
yeah, because you're not just comboing cards from hand to put them there. So, and nothing is really milling to the drop. So we see the Kynidate here. Kynidate definitely strong in this deck. You're gonna have cards in Warp to use. There's really a lot of different cards you can play in Goku Black. There's a lot of tech choices you can use. Kynidate is definitely strong. The SCR, it just misses the mark a little bit for me being a unison. The fact that it has ultimate obviously is a drawback because it ruins your chain of empower cards by not going to the drop. So that's one drawback. The warping your opponent down to 7 after it's done is okay. But if you're gonna swing dual attack 40k crit, they're just gonna use those excess cards in their hand to combo out. And
Yeah,
then
it's
when
just.
you warp
I'm
them down to
sorry.
7, it doesn't do much.
Yeah, it's just largely irrelevant, unfortunately. It's just not enough. And a lot of time you don't even want the SCR to die because you can just turtle up with it and block twice with your 40 whatever K blocker.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it. It's a bummer because it is such a nice looking card. I mean, my goodness. I
It's
definitely would
very
like to play it.
arguably it's one of the best artwork in this set for the SCRs, I think. I think Baby is a close second after that, and then the Broly. Just because the Baby's got the Grail in his hand, it's just kind of cool. And then he's
For
got the squad in the background.
And for some reason, it's still very expensive. I was really hoping the SCRs last set all dropped pretty quickly once people realized that they weren't best in slot, and this you know this SCR is not best in slot, but it is still
I
expensive.
I think that has to do with the character popularity. People really love Goku Black, and they made this
Yeah,
art beautiful. Kind of the same thing as the Frieza Black Yellow card. Nobody plays it. I haven't seen it in a single deck, but it's still $200.
yeah. All of those. There was a set of them that came. I think it came from Heroes, right, where they had the multiple forms of the card on the SCR. I think the Boo is very expensive. The
Yes,
Frieza, I think the Cell was cheap until they printed the rest of them, and now that's also expensive. So
it's very collectible.
very collectible. Yeah. Well, that's good. We need all types of hobbyists buying Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, for sure. Community's got to stay together somehow, you know. And if 1,000 to 2,000 want to play the card game, the other 2,000 just want to buy product to collect, then by all means, I ain't got no problems with that.
So we've got Jamal tapped out here, which I mean, you never really tapped out with Dimension Magic and with Zeno, but he has cleared the Unison,
All right,
which
step
is
one.
annoying, but also it's fine for Goku Black. He's gonna have 4 energy. He's gonna be able to reestablish things here. I don't know if anything has barrier here. I don't see the Z extra. So most of these cards should be cleared. Wow, he has the five drop trunks, the emotional blow, which clears indestructible. Oh, so there he
Like
goes. There he puts it down
a
to
smart card to have because you're always going to lean on
protect
this
his
eight
cooler.
drop cooler, and then you're going to go and again going to emotional blow is pretty good.
So Barrier might be upset here that Jamal played the field card after passing turn. But
Well,
if you've
nothing
ever
new
played
here.
Jamal, but we're learning, we're testing. It's good to you're better off playing optimally than wasting your time because of misplays. Just fix it.
Well, I agree, but sometimes once you're 10 actions in, and then your friend says, "Hang on, I need to go back and fix something after you start comboing."
Yes,
They're like, "Hang."
there's a limit. There's a limit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, "Hang on a second, there, big dog."
But it does feel bad. These games last a long time, so it does feel bad to be 30 minutes deep into a game and make some error that just you wouldn't do again, but it wastes all that time you're playing. You want to get
Yeah,
optimal testing. So
can't be messing up the testing.
we'll see if barrier. There's quite a few cards to clear here. The cooler has barrier, I believe, because of that field. that's on the board. So he's got 3 other cards to clear, and he probably want to be able to do those. The Master Unison will do that. He's charged 2 of them, so I don't know if he has one in rotation or not. But
It's interesting that he protected the 5-6 drop cooler, not the 8 drop cooler.
yeah, that's a good point.
Unless we missed something, but it was on the board at the end of his turn, so
I think he got warped by the leader swing. Yeah, maybe that was the
hmm,
compromise.
that could have been.
I'll let you play the extra card, but you you can't
You can't
you
keep the
can't
busted
protect
8
the 8
drop.
drop. Yeah. All right, so Biriar's has got to get one more marker to get the full effect of the Zamasu Unison if he ends up playing that. He could do that just by playing one of the non-specified cost ones, the Zamasus or the Goku Blacks. They will +1 to get you to 3, and then you can play the Zamasu. So we'll see if that's the route he goes for the board clear, or if he just wants to do it one by one. 8 drop was warped with Kai. Okay, that's what it was. There we go.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So it should be back, yeah?
He probably swung leader and warped it away, I imagine.
Oh, so okay, right. So the field couldn't protect it because it came back missing the timing.
Yes.
Yep, that makes sense. Good thing we have chat here to correct this.
Thank you, Chet.
We're also rambling, so and not listening to them. Well, at least I don't have them on. I have them muted.
Yeah, I have them muted as well.
So now he did what I said. He's got the Zamasui +1. Be interesting to see if he wants to go into the SCR or if he wants to go into a Zamasu.
Tapping
Looks
2.
like 2. Let's
He's
see.
tapping 2.
Oh,
That's
from hand?
up.
Oh,
Oh,
barrier removal. Okay,
oh, that's fair.
that's fair.
I'm not mad about it.
So this is a 25k indestructible blocker. It warps something in Northern Barrier on play. You have to, I believe, to play it, you have to warp 2 black cards from your warp, or from your drop to your warp. But to restand it, you have to warp 2 black unisons. I think that's right.
I think that's correct.
Could be the inverse. I always have to read it. For a while, we were proxying this deck with the pictures that were on untap. So they were very I had to be very careful when I was playing the cards to make sure I didn't mess them up because the text was not of high quality.
Interesting. You're about to tap out again?
He's at 6 life, so he might feel like he can, but
Yeah,
tapped out with 6 life can go very quickly if Jamal plays Beast Gohan next turn.
especially when you have such a small hidden size like the Goku Black deck does. But
Wow, look at this. I mean, just milling unison after unison.
this
A
this
blessed
dude is
gamer.
just gifted, bro.
We'll see if he probably is he missing a unison to restand it. Is that the
Oh, that's fair. I mean, he
I
plays
wonder
into
if he
unison, gets another swing, and then warps 3 stands his battle card. Nope, he's not risking it. Fair enough.
so what did he oh he removed the trunks with the Zamasu effect. No, he doesn't have 2 unisons, right? That's what he's saying. They're reading it just like I would have to. Okay. Oh no, it's the opposite. Okay,
Hmm.
I was wrong. It's 2 unisons to play it. It's 2 black cards to restand it. Hopefully they did that right.
Yeah, he probably just wants the blocker, which is fair.
So Barrier passes back. getting himself set up here. Chances that Jamal has another Trunks is slim.
Imagine it was just a one of, but if he's got two, then he's just a better player.
And chat, if you're just joining us here, these are just casual, friendly games we're playing to try and showcase some of the decks in the new set. Hopefully, we'll be able to release some of these games that we've played today in this almost 4-hour stream on YouTube this week, so you guys can get to watch them individually. But if you're interested in playing in a tournament, we do have a webcam tournament coming up on Monday for the holiday in the US, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're able to play, it's a box tournament with, if we get enough people to fire it, that would be awesome. So I've already linked it in the chat if you can see it. Otherwise, it's been linked on the Facebook discussion group, and it's also been linked in our Dimension Magic Games Discord. So if you're not in there, that link is probably also all over the discussion group. You can feel free to hop in.
Yeah, everyone who loses the game today gets kicked from the team. So put your applications in, fellas.
Oh well, we have to be nice to Daniel.
Oh, true. Dale gets a pass. He gets a pass.
If you're willing to answer the call to play, you are immune in my book. Losses don't count here. Exhibition only. So we got a 3 energy play here. I know Jamal always wants to play the Android 18 Z Unison. We'll see if that's what he ends up doing, or if he's got a real 3 energy play in his hand. I don't know what that would be.
He's tapping 3. Oh, he's thinking about it. I just, uh, uh, we know you're gonna do it, bro. Just,
What card is he playing?
why is he tapping 3?
2.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Just a little misdirection for the stream. Thanks, Jamal.
Taking this out.
All right, so we've got the. Is this the good salsa?
That's Dora.
This
That's
is
the
the
one
one.
that
Okay.
has critical and can bottom deck, or if you played time to die, then you play time to die bottom decks. If not, it goes back to their hand.
Yeah, it's not going to hit. There's nothing on Beer's board at the moment.
I think he just wants to poke him with crit damage because since he's at 6 life and not giving many cards here. Unless he's attacking with cooler to leader, but I'm not sure if Maul's that greedy.
So now he's got the protection on the 8-drop this time, so he does not get Supreme Tide again. So inevitably you'll get petrified, but you got to try.
Swinging at leader.
Oh, dude.
That's a little bit of a shock.
BR has drawn multiple super combos and warped all of his unisons. Isn't that amazing?
It's just it just makes this deck look good.
I'm glad we could bring this to you live on stream because I've had to tell BR multiple times in deck building that he has to play super combos. He's tried to make the case that they're just going to get warped anyway, so why are we even bothering? But in this rare scenario where you draw them, they are worthwhile.
But I hope that wasn't a real conversation.
Oh, multiple times.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
You could play a couple different super combos. I've opted to play the Heli super combo in my list, but they would be pretty useless here because you have to be at 4 life. So there's definitely merit in the Gohan. It's going to be hard to not have 4 or 5 cards in the warp. So that is always live. I only have 2 foil copies of it, so I
Oh, he's
don't
got two
enjoy.
super combo. There's no way.
I think this is the third one he's used. Yes, he is. He is gifted.
Has it all.
This is the type of energy you need to top Nats, and Biriar has it. I see Jamal pitching a card that would indicate to me that we're going to swap, and now here is the salsa we find good, right? 20k dual attack. It looks like he's using the +5 on himself. And he's dealing damage and not swinging at the unison. Wow.
That's
He does it
interesting.
twice, and now he goes
That is
double. We'll see a
interesting.
token negate here, most likely. Yep.
I
And
guess
now
Maul
this,
saw him tapped out and wanted to push the gas.
if he's got Beast Gohan here, this is the,
He
see? Yeah,
has the
this is the
beast
time.
Gohan. This is yep. This is
I barely got it out in time before he could, before he could do it. So I wonder who he's got a bottom deck 2 cards, so he'll probably. So now he's down to 2. And at this point, if
you
you
can really
think you
just
can,
restand
win
the
the game,
double
restand the.
striker, right?
Yeah, it's difficult though because you'd have to ask B to count how many cards are in your warp, and know
This
how
is
many
also true.
unisons are there. Right? You can't just toss your whole hand away trying to win when in a visible area. You know you can't. He can't petrify or respond in any way. So there's no real benefit to restanding beforehand. He could have another token negate, but yeah.
He does, but this is the correct sequencing. It's because if he restands it, it's a critical swing instead. So now we can just restand the energy and another attacker, or just 2 more attackers.
You have I think he should be counting the unisons to try and determine can he get through here. Here we go.
There it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
A lot of combo power.
Looks like 7 or 8, right? So 40k. He's already used 3 supers, I think, so he's gonna have a couple dead cards in hand, obviously. So I think this might either just be Beast Gohan and the cooler,
I believe so. Yes, that would probably be the play,
or I mean,
unless he has some way to clear the token.
it could be Beast Gohan and energy if you have.
He could play. Does the Janemba hit the token? I can't remember from the Z deck.
No, I think it's 3 or less or 4 or
3 or
less. It
less.
has
Okay.
some. So
Oh, he
this
has
is
the
how
cooler.
you
There
hit
you
it.
go. That'll
Yeah.
do it. Yeah. Draw 2
Draw
cards,
2,
filter a
pitch
little bit.
1. He does have to pitch, right?
Yeah, he can just pitch an extra card though. So,
Oh,
oh, he doesn't have an extra card. He's got all combo power. Good for him.
so
I
now
respect
this
it.
is. There's no free negate here, so this is just going to be a combo power battle. And he looks like he doesn't have a ton in hand, but he's got.
Well, he's got
This is a
2 swings
40k
though, so
swing.
you just dump here, swing with the other battle card if he lives, and see if he's got it.
Yep. So this looks like it's 40, 50,
50, 60, 65.
65. So we know Beer's got quite a bit.
He's got
Let's
35
see.
combo power in his warp.
8. So 40. So 55. And then he can't get out, so he loses.